I'm Frank Roecker, and I'm a graduate student here, and I'm getting a Master's in Engineering Sciences with a focus in Hydrology from Roswell, Georgia. It's a suburb of Atlanta. I didn't really know actually much about Ole Miss until I got the brochure and started looking up learning more about geological engineering. And the most appealing thing was that they offered out-of-state tuition waiver, because certain majors not offered in any of the universities around the area. So it was a good incentive to come here than anywhere else in the state. Well, it's actually called the Academic Common Market, and if any of the universities in your area, in your state, don't offer the certain major, it's an incentive to come to their school, and they'll waive the out-of-state tuition waiver. So I pay in-state tuition even though I'm from Georgia. Yes, I did join a fraternity my freshman year, and that was actually one of the questions I had when I was going through and looking at engineering program was, is there enough time, and is it possible to do fraternity and engineering? And it's very easy. Actually, my graduating class of 11, more than half of them were in fraternities or sororities. So it's very doable to do an engineering major and do a fraternity or sorority if you're interested. And I had a great time in my fraternity. I lived in the house my senior year, actually, on campus, and it was a blast. Yeah, I lived in the dorm my freshman year, and actually what they do here is they'll try to put similar majors on similar floors. So for me, when I was a freshman, the third floor was the engineering floor, so we were mixed in with other geological engineers, mechanical engineers, chemies, and civil engineers, and we all got to bond and hang out, and we got to learn about each other's majors. And we all knew that it was going to be harder because we had to declare our majors early on, like from the get-go, whereas other people may not declare until their sophomore and junior year. So we got a nice camaraderie from the very start, just throughout the entire engineering program here. To be a good engineer, you need to have a good critical mind. You need to be able to apply a lot of different formulas, a lot of different aspects, a lot of different theory. It's not, focused on one certain point. It's a broad ranges you got to look at. All right, well, there's groundwater flow. You got to look at pore sizes. You got to look at, the different geochemical data and all this. And civil engineers, they do different forces. Acting on the wind, gravity, the actual, the engineering of the joints themselves. But to be a good engineering mind, you really need to have a good grasp on problem solving, because that's pretty much what engineers do. We solve the world's problems, and given as little as information as possible, especially in geological engineering case, we kind of give just the best guess, and that's all we can do, because it costs a lot of money to drill holes in the ground, and to correlate between them is no easy feat. Geological engineering will focus more on soil, groundwater, rocks, formations, different stresses and strains that are within the earth. For instance, civil engineers mainly deal with structure, but with geological engineers and geology, we do everything that's subsurface. There's a lot of people who are from the mining industry, a lot of people go into oil and gas industry. For me, I'm going into the groundwater modeling, and that's hydrology, which is just a branch of geological engineering. The atmosphere of Ole Miss is very tranquil, it's very peaceful. You never feel like anything gets too hectic or too out of control here. Again, it's a very safe place, it's a wonderful place, great place to meet friends. I knew 2 people coming from Georgia over here, so I met all of my friends here. I met in the first couple of years of living here, and I've had a great time, and I'd recommend Ole Miss to anybody at the drop of a hat. It's a fantastic college. It's a fantastic program with geological engineering. Our engineering school is growing every year, so it's a great opportunity. It's a great place to learn, and I loved it here.